Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Walden. I'm the immediate past president for the Aesthetic Society, or the American Society for Aesthetic Plastic Surgery. I'm a board-certified plastic surgeon in Austin, Texas, with medical spas in both Austin and New York. I decided early on, I always excelled at science. I always was great at like anatomy, physiology, how things work, the human body. And so early on in like 8th grade, we were dissecting pigs. And I was with one of my best friends who was my science partner, and we had the pig in the tray and we had pinned down. And I started to open it, right? As just like scalpel. And I opened it up and started to pin down the organs. She fled the scene. She was like, oh my God, this is so gross, I'm leaving. So she's still one of my dearest friends and a patient of mine, but she fled the scene and I just kept going and I finished before anyone else did. So my 8th grade science teacher, Miss Keck, came up to me and said, you're gonna be a surgeon when you grow up. So early on in high school, I did anatomy and physiology classes and advanced placement, and I always excelled in those. In college, I went to the University of Texas at Austin. I majored in biology in the College of Natural Sciences, and again, what I found was interesting to me was vertebrate physiology. So one of the hardest classes was in our senior year, and everybody was afraid of the teacher, everybody was afraid of the class itself. It was one of those, it was high flunk rate, and I got an A in it. And to get an A in this class was like a badge of honor. And so once I did that, I just had the confidence. Towards the end of college, I ended up getting waitlisted in medical school. So don't get your hopes down if that actually happens. I got called in late August, and I was like, yes, heck yes, I'm going to go. So I went to University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston, which ends up being a great place for the trajectory of my career. So I matched into an integrated plastic surgery program there after medical school. At the end of my residency, when I matched into this fellowship, this was just when neurotoxins were coming on the market in America. And I was really a kid in a candy store. I started to use these products, understand them, and I foresaw a boom in the aesthetic market. I thought this is only going to get bigger with the minimally invasive and non-invasive. I also just liked the immediacy of results. So if you know me, you'll know, and my staff know, if I want something, I want it now. I had 2 key mentors, but I feel like they were the foundation for my success. So you really stand on the shoulders of giants in this field. And the first one was Linda Phillips. She was the chairman of my plastic surgery division at UTMB in Galveston, but she was also the dean of the medical school. She had 4 children. She was married. She took her kids to swim practice. And mentors really, they go to bat for you at times when you need them, and she's always been there for me. But I've known her since I walked into her office as a junior medical student. My second mentor that's been very key in my life is Dr. Sherelle Aston. He's in New York City. So when I matched into the Manhattan Eye, Ear, and Throat Aesthetic Fellowship, he was the chairman. It was in New York that I really solidified my passion for aesthetic plastic surgery and learned the foundational skills to perform it. And we did a lot of facelifts, eyelid lifts, otoplasty, rhinoplasty in that fellowship. Dr. Aston was my senior associate for 7.5 years in New York until I gave birth to my twin sons. But he really taught me the business of plastic surgery, how to run a practice, how to communicate with patients, how to deal with staff, and try to maintain those relationships. And it was through that I was able to come to Austin and build a practice here. He really helps me, and he's like almost like a coach, where if I have a hard case, I can call him up and we'll look at a picture together, we'll draw on the iPhone, and he'll coach me to success. So he's been a key foundational mentor in my career. Initially, I had a little trepidation about being the first female president in an organization of 56-year history that since its inception was male-dominated. I quickly learned I was being evaluated on my decision-making capabilities and leadership qualities. Being a woman was irrelevant, so that was a wonderful thing for me. So during my presidency, I had 3 main goals. And during that time, one of it was to enhance inclusion and diversity. So we established a mentorship program through our Aesthetic Society Research Foundation. We're trying to enhance patient safety, and we're trying to better the specialty for everyone. Everyone is doing aesthetics. Everyone is injecting. we've got to be safe. There are real complications. And it's those cores that we're the ones that are doing the studies. We're the key opinion leaders. So it's important that the dermatologists, the facial plastic surgeons, and our board certified plastic surgeons of American Board of Plastic Surgery are banding together for the betterment and the safety of the population within America. Some of the limitations I placed on myself early in my career, and some of the pressures that maybe when you're in a male-dominated field you feel in training and through your early practice, is that you have to delay childbearing. Especially, when I was in training, I think things have gotten more female-friendly as time has gone on. And men, we have great male mentors. I have a wonderful male mentor. Men have realized that is a part of wholeness of a female plastic surgeon, and that's what draws patients to you, right? You're a mom and you know what that's like. But the delay in childbearing, I waited until, I waited until my late 30s. And by the time I decided that I wanted to have children, I kept putting it off, thinking, no, I've got to do fellowship. No, I've got to start a practice. No, I've got to have this many patients. No, I've got to have this much. And there was always something else that I had to focus on. I'm not great at focusing on two major things at once. So I would always focus back on that. But the delay in childbearing was hard because I ended up kind of, went to the OB-GYN. They said, if you're going to have children, you really, really need to do it now. And here I was in New York and didn't have a partner or anything. I did IVF and I had my twin sons in 2010, Houston and Rex. And they really are the lights of my life. And they really changed it for the better. So, my professional development is enhanced because of them. I became a more mature person because of them, as any parent does. You can't control that part of your life, and so I would say just don't limit yourself and have your family when you want to on your own time frame. And I think the residency program directors are much more friendly to that notion and that idea nowadays. I think it's important not to be too latched on or too attached to people that take your mental energy. So one thing I can do, I think in many surgeons do, is we can compartmentalize well. And I think you need to compartmentalize your practice, your family, and you can walk away at the end of the day. At 5:05, if you go home, you don't have to be upset if a patient was mad at you. You want to try to focus on the good. Surround yourself with people that support you, whether it's colleagues or your friends and your staff. Surrounding yourself with people that love you and support you will enable your success. So when I became the first female president of the Aesthetics Society, Lynn Damitz in North Carolina, a wonderful plastic surgeon who's the leader of that group, invited me to come speak. And she gave me this necklace. What it is, it's a little cracked glass ceiling. And the reason I'm known for that is kind of obvious, but at the end of our business meeting, the year I became president, one of the things I did is you have to ask for any new business. And I said, is there any new business? And very quickly I said, this meeting is adjourned and this glass ceiling is broken. And that was it. Then this meeting is adjourned and this glass ceiling is broken.